The Bible teaches that death is not natural in God's original design, but it entered the world as a direct result of sin and humanity's separation from the God's character. Sin corrupts life, and its final outcome is physical death, as well as spiritual separation from God. The Scriptures teach that those who seek eternal life must walk carefully in the company they keep. Evil companionship has the power to corrupt even the most sincere heart, for as it is written, "Do not be deceived, evil company corrupts good habits," 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33. To journey toward eternal life, one must turn away from those who delight in wickedness, for their ways are a snare and a stumbling block. Choosing separation from such influences is not rejection of people themselves, but a recognition that sin spreads like leaven, quietly working its way through the whole loaf. To remain pure, one must step out of darkness and into the light of God's presence. Sin, by its very nature, destroys life. It distorts the image of God in humanity and replaces it with confusion, guilt, and despair. Just as Adam's disobedience brought death into the world, sin continues to corrupt every generation, robbing people of the peace and joy for which they were created. Those who walk in sin live in bondage, bound by desires that is never satisfied, and chained to choices that eat away at the soul. Separation from sinful living, then, is not only a matter of obedience but of survival. It is the difference between life and death, between the way of blessing and the way of ruin. The pursuit of eternal life requires the taking on of God's own character, a transformation that reshapes the mind, body, and soul. When a person surrenders to Christ's character, the Spirit renews the mind, replacing fear with faith, pride with humility, and selfishness with love. The body, once enslaved to corruption, becomes a vessel of righteousness, set apart for holy purposes. The soul, once restless, finds peace in God's eternal promises. This transformation does not merely add years to one's life, but gives life an eternal dimension, extending beyond the grave into everlasting communion with God. In contrast, when one embraces evil, the transformation is devastating. The mind becomes darkened, clouded by lies and consumed by lusts. The body weakens under the weight of sin, often destroyed by excess, violence, or neglect. The soul shrivels, cut off from the source of true life, wandering aimlessly in emptiness. Evil shortens life, not only by hastening physical decay but by robbing one of eternal hope. Where God's character breathes renewal and lengthens life into eternity, evil's character suffocates, cutting life short in both time and purpose. To seek eternal life, therefore, is to make a decisive choice, to walk in God's character and separate from the corruption of sinful people. It is to embrace holiness, purity, and truth, and to reject the fellowship of darkness. The journey is not easy, but it is blessed, for God Himself promises to strengthen those who walk with Him, and reward them with eternal life. Each step away from evil is a step closer to eternal life that has been prepared for the faithful. And in the end, those who take on the nature of God will not only escape the corruption of death but will shine with the light of eternal life.